Mac and I just watched the Arlecchino demo. It was a reaction for him and a rewatch for me. Now, Arlecchino seems like she's going to be one of his favorite characters. So I wanted to put his reaction in its own video, separate from the music itself, like I did in Farina's. I put it all together in one. So that's what we're going to do in this one, is that we're going to see how Arlecchino's music kind of stands up with some context from him and a little bit of music talk from both of us. So we're going to do So now we're going to listen to the Arlecchino OST, which again is my fourth favorite OST in Genshin.
Presently my favorite, just so everybody's aware.
Is that bias that I hear?
Potentially, but also I have always been a bit of a fan of like electro music, so this is right up my alley.
Funny enough, like the only metal OST in Genshin isn't one of my favorites, and I listen to mostly metal. So it's kind of
Oh.
funny. My favorite OST, I don't think you're expecting my favorite OST to be what it is, by the way.
I'll be curious. We'll get there though. I have a
Yeah,
feeling this will be fun.
We'll get there. Okay, so now we're gonna do the Arlecchino one. Now, Arlecchino's OST has not been released by Genshin in isolation. They haven't done an album with the Fontaine, at least this part of the Fontaine OST. So we are doing the TNB mix, which TNB just makes the music again and then has like an extended version of it. So the link down to that video will be in my description. At least Mac might throw it in his.
I will definitely do the same.
Okay, so let's go. I got my good headphones on and I'm turning it up. This is such a banger. Okay. I love the beat drop on her snap. It's so good.
I love the beat drop, but I hate that the snap was actually taken out in the render. That is like I was waiting for it and it wasn't there. Darn it.
That is the one thing, is that they will take out the sound effects sometimes.
Oh,
but even the ones that make it better, like that snap is so
it's crisp.
good. It's so crisp. And it's super crisp in the game. And I do hate that they take it out. Honestly, if they left it in there, this probably would be like my third favorite, not my fourth favorite. Like, it's missing that little crisp. It's like a hi-hat that it's missing.
Yeah, it's the thing that separates the electric before it goes from the build up to the drop. That singular like auditory sound, like that one thing. It's like a high note. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm very surprised though that like they already have a drop at 21 seconds in. I know that there's another drop further down that has a longer buildup, but 21 seconds in is really quick to have a beat drop.
It depends. With electric music, I've had a lot of. It kind of varies. In this instance, because of the way that this is being pulled from a trailer, it makes sense that they did it this way. The song itself, with me in electric music, I've seen that in a lot of cases. It depends on the length of the song is a big factor of it. If you're going to have like say a minute and a half long song and you want to have at least two decent drops, they'll probably do like a small build up here, and then like as you're saying, a minute plus in, they'll have another drop that'll run out the rest of the time before you get to the end. So the length of the song also seems to have a factor in this case, just in my opinion.
That's a good point. That's a very, very good point. All right, I gotta hear that again now.
Oh, of course.
Genshin knows what they're doing with music.
Agreed. For sure, agreed.
The hand animation is pretty good too. I'm trying to not watch the screen.
The chime sound as well, I want to point out, is like the it's
okay,
haunting.
so this is going to be something. Yeah, oh, it very much is. This is going to be something that Mac has no idea about. Is this thing behind Arlecchino the thing that Skirk does? Like, I'm asking that for somebody to answer that in the comments. Is this right behind her the thing that Skirk does? Because I'm pretty sure
Skirk is a character.
Correct. Skirk is a character that you meet in Fontaine.
Okay.
We don't know if she's playable yet or not.
Gotcha.
But that looks a lot like what Skirk does, which is interesting.
The gear. I think I also noticed on the upper right corner, upper left corner screen, Are those supposed to be gears turning or like cylinders on like a chambered weapon?
Upper left of the screen.
If you look at the like the outline, how it has that like curvature to it, are those supposed to be like gears turning or
Oh, I don't know. It might just be smoke in the background.
it could be. Okay.
Good change up. I love the choir, like the electric choir.
Mhm. And the drum beat.
So okay, so I feel like you have more music knowledge than me. This is in four. I'm not feeling anything other than four.
What do you mean? Are you talking about the
Time signature
Oh, okay. Um
is a lot of electric music in four.
So in my experience, is because it's repetition and patterns of a beat. It's usually like 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 4 so on and so. You see a lot of repeating beats, and a lot of that's because of how things are looped. So
Hmm.
I guess I could say yeah. My experience, a lot of stuff you because so when a lot of electrical music is popular, it's stuff that you would hear being played at a club, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
in my opinion, a lot of cases like that, the easier something is to mix on the fly, or the easier it is to repeat something, the more it can just kind of be faster and easier to do in a situation. But also, a lot of people use music like this for all sorts of other things, like in this case, game trailers, where it's not expensive to produce this kind of music in the long haul, but it still sounds really good. It's still
Yeah.
quality, but this is easier to produce than having like an entire band in the background, you know?
Farina's has an orchestra.
Look, they had to put the budget in somewhere. And for those who are
No,
wondering, I
Farina's.
listen to a lot of music. I'm not musically trained or anything, but I know bits and pieces
I
just
know
for
enough.
context.
My favorite phrase is I know enough about music to be dangerous. Not enough to really show, but I know enough to be dangerous.
I know enough to say like I can sound like I know what I'm talking about because in some cases I do. Um, which is dangerous because I can make an ass out of myself very easily here. The
That's what
one
I
thing,
mean. That's
yeah,
exactly what I mean.
the one thing I've been waiting to hear, and I kind of hear it a little bit. This song doesn't play into one of the major electrical sounds that you hear a lot, which is an 808. Do you know what
Hmm,
that is?
no idea.
It's like an inverted drum beat. I'll play something for you that has it later, so you can get an idea.
Okay.
Because it's really common in drops. It's basically the sound. The best way I can describe it is imagine the sound that makes your ears shake, like on the inside. It feels like it goes the
Okay.
inside of your head.
Okay. Is it
Yeah,
almost like a drum hit in reverse?
exactly what it is. That is
Okay.
exactly what it
Okay.
is. That's the purpose of an 808.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I know what sound that is. Okay. Yeah, I don't hear it either.
Yeah, no, this would work with that though. The way that this is laid out, you could have a solid 808. Like when she was doing the combat where that first cut was, there could have been
Hmm.
like a low 808 that led into the transition, but a solid audio cut also works because it kind of adds intensity into the situation. The weird thing with this is I don't know if this is something I could list on repeat. I haven't decided yet. I could listen to
Oh,
this easily every
mine.
once in a while. I just don't know if this would be something that I could have going for hours at a time.
See, my number two and number one, I have done that. Number three, I haven't, and this one I haven't. Like I could listen to this one. I could listen to it a couple times in a day, but not on repeat. My number
Yeah.
one and number two, I can have them on repeat for hours straight because they're so good.
That's kind of where my brain is. Like if I'm rating music, it's how easily I can listen to something over and over again. Case in point, there when a new song comes out by one of the artists that I like, and if it's a bop, I will literally listen to it for hours in a day and not even
Hmm.
notice.
Yep.
So I don't have that intensity with this yet, but I think it's because of the cuts that they do with like the soft cut here, and then it breaks
Yeah.
it up the flow for me, and it would like throw me off if I was listening to it. But yeah, that's my
Which is,
feedback.
and I think that like this song in particular is one that does kind of rely heavily on the context. Like
Yes.
Farina's is also the same way where there's a lot of weird cuts in it. but Farina's is also meant to be that way, and it fits very well with the visuals.
Hmm. Yeah, as far as I think that this is definitely built for the video around it rather than the
Hmm.
music being built on its own. The music holds up, but the visuals are necessary with this one, I
Hmm.
think.
Yeah, because without knowledge of what's going on, the kid choirs kind of seem out of place, but in place at the same time.
If you would have thrown me the song without seeing the video, I would have been probably pretty confused.
Right.
The choir is a nice touch, though.
Yeah. Knowing Arlecchino's story makes this song like a 9 out of 10. Ooh, I liked that sound.
What was that?
Listen.
Wait, what were the lyrics?
Oh, that's just T&B's watermark. The T&B throws on there.
No, no, what the children are singing.
I don't think they are singing anything. I think
No,
it's
no,
just la
no,
la
no,
la la la.
no, no, no. In that second part, in the remix part, play that again. They're saying la 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 here. Just wait until the part with the I.
Okay, yeah, I hear it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what they're saying though.
The start of it sounds like they're saying hold on. And I hear please something. And like that's where my brain is going right now. I hear something there. It's not just nothing. Okay, pause. I just throwing this out there. It sounds like hold there, please don't let me disappear.
That kind of does fit in with Arlecchino's backstory, honestly.
I swear to God, I hear please don't let me disappear. Now, mind you, I have no knowledge for sure of this, but like if I had to listen to this a couple more dozen times, maybe I'd be able to piece it together better. Maybe it's something somebody could look up in the comments and post if you know anything about this. But that's what I hear. Please don't let me disappear. That was like
I'll have to look that up and see.
this is how I get so invested in music. When I heard that the third time through, where I'm like, I think that's what it was. If you're listening to, depending on what kind of YouTube content creator you know, like Chicken Skin or like Goosebumps. Chicken Skin is what Eddie calls it because he plays a lot of horror games and he's Hispanic or he's Mexican and he says he has chicken skin. It's Goosebumps. Literally, the hairs on my arms stood up the third time through. Where I'm like, is that what that is saying? Because it sounds so eerie. It's beautiful, but it's dark.
It is Latin, it looks like.
It's Latin. Okay, well then I'm completely wrong, but I'm okay with that. But what it sounds like is, whew.
Yeah, I'll have to look up those lyrics. That's yeah, I didn't even realize that they were saying something there. I was listening down to the instruments, and I caught a little. It was almost like a little higher hit in there too. Right there.
Please don't disappear is what I'm hearing.
Do what?
I just can't stop hearing please don't disappear. Like I'm trying to listen for the instrumental, but like that's where my brain keeps going. Oh, if that was what was being said, that would be so dark. Especially knowing what she is.
Fit with exactly that would fit a lot with her story.
Okay.
And then I also love too that whenever we get past this part into the next part, it's all higher notes.
Uh-huh.
So where it's like it still feels childish in a way.
Okay.
Like here.
The xylophone sound?
Yeah. Yeah, that xylophone sound.
That is a xylophone, right?
That is a xylophone, yeah, and it is still like higher to where it's still kind of childish in a way. but it's darker everywhere else.
Yeah, it's like something that's supposed to cut through the darkness a little bit.
Hmm.
The drum build up. Right there would have been a killer place for an 808.
Would have been a killer place for a what?
An 808.
Oh, that I believe that's yeah. Okay, so that's where the original ends is right
Yeah.
there,
And then
and
this
then
is where it
TNB's mix
loops.
keep going. Yeah, and then TNB's mix loops it. Yeah.
Okay.
So all in
Oh,
all, what do you think about Arlecchino's demo and OST?
my heart feels heavy.
Your heart feels heavy.
It literally, so like when I get into these, like, because I grew up on game theory, film theory, stuff like that. Like I love looking at the smaller details, and I have nothing to go off of, but I'm creating my own head canon about something that I know nothing of over here, and I'm nerding out. So I'm doing fine. Um, I think that sadly the music does not hold up without the trailer.
I think so too. I think that like having the context of it, and this is another reason why I wanted you to do these with me because I can't not know the context, right? I
Hmm.
can't get out of the context. So having somebody that's like, because when I listened to Farina's video, I was like, no, I think it stands up without the context, and Doggy was like, it doesn't. And I was like, "What do you mean it doesn't?" He was like, "If you don't know the context, it's not. It's such a weird song." And this one's very similar, but it's because I know the context, I can't get out of the context. So having you here without as much context is way better because it's a much more unbiased opinion.
Yeah, no, it's good music. It's really good, but it so heavily relies on the understanding of this character,
Hmm.
who they are, what their purpose is, and an understanding of the what kind of environment they're in. Because even when we're going to, like, if you didn't know that this character has like this glitch phenomenon that goes on with their
Right.
whole, the electrical beats wouldn't make sense. It
Right.
sounds good, but we're talking about a fantasy game. So
Yep.
this, we're not playing we're not playing Tron. Like the dubstep only
Yeah.
works because you know what she looks like.
I'm the so this was number 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
Number 3, number 2, and number 1, in my opinion, you don't need to know much of anything about the characters.
Mm-hmm.
And what we might do for the next one is play the music first
And
without
then
you
run the
knowing
video.
anything about the character, and then do the character demo
Okay.
and see if at the end of the first listen. And what we might do is like go so far in, pause it a little bit and get your thoughts, and then go a little bit further in and get your thoughts again, and then
Mm-hmm.
finish it out, and then go to the demo and see if like everything starts to connect and get a true opinion of does it stand on its own.
I'm cool with
That
doing
might
that.
be
That
that
seems
might be
like
the
the
good way
smarter
to
way
do
to
it.
do
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
Mhm.
In this case, like it was pretty smart to start with the story because I already did a little bit of examining into this character. Like I went through some of the information screens I could find in game.
Like,
It,
I wanted that comment of, "Oh, you prick." That's why I
yeah.
did it because I
No,
wanted that comment.
that is entirely fair. I'm gonna do this as two videos as well. Now that we're thinking about it, as far as it goes, because this is, or there would be like 20-minute videos even with cutting.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
that
yeah,
this one, if I'm gonna, and also let's do something else for fun. Let's have a little fun with this. So these are
yeah.
your top five, right?
Yep, yep.
I'm gonna make you rate your top five babies on a scale of 1 to 10, though.
So all of my top 5s, would be 9 out of 10 or lower. Farina's, I would say, is a 9 out of 10. Now if I'm rating them against each other, or am I rating them in general?
You're rating them into music that you could listen to with no information. You
Um,
you turn on your playlist and it pops up as a random pick because you listen to other Genshin music and you're like, oh, this is nice. If
so
you have,
my top 5,
yeah.
I'm letting them play. I'm letting them play. I'm backing up and I'm listening to it like nonstop.
So as
But
somebody
again,
new
that's
to this
because I have the
environment,
context.
this would be a 7 for me.
Yeah, which is completely fair because
Yeah.
I know the context. I've done all of this stuff with Arlecchino, so I know like it fits her character to a T. but if I didn't know if this song randomly popped up, I don't think I would like it as much.
So
I'm
if this
willing
song
to
randomly
admit that.
popped up, this would have sounded like Final Fantasy VII Advent Children music to me. Like
Yep,
no
I can
joke,
see that.
this gives me Final Fantasy energy so hardcore.
Yeah, no, I could definitely see that on
um,
there.
and I
The
don't hate that, and I would listen to it, and then when we get to the choir, I'd be like, "What the is going
yeah,
on?"
what's going on? Yeah, that's such a weird thing to have going on, yeah.
Yeah.
The
7 out of 10 though. I can't go lower than that because it is aesthetically pleasant to listen to. But it's not something I could listen to on repeat, which is for me, that is like 8 through 10. I could listen to a song on repeat for hours. I'm a little
Now,
harsher with my music rating, to be fair.
the next character
Mhm.
I can listen to, it's my second favorite character, it's Nilu.
Okay.
And I can listen to hers, and I'm wondering if hers is gonna be because I know the context. Now, my top 2 are not my favorite characters at all. They're not even within, like, my top 5, possibly my top 10 favorite characters. Their music is just a banger.
Okay.
That's so I think that, like, the ones that I could listen to without the context, any at
Mhm.
all, is going to be number 2 and number 1. Number
Alrighty.
3 is going to be good, but it does heavily rely on Nilu as a character to fit. Number 2 and number
Alright.
1 do not rely on their characters. The only thing that you like as the information that you need to know is you can just get from listening to the music. Like, "Oh, it's inspired by this region in our world." You
Okay.
can just pick that up immediately upon starting the song.
Well, I'll be very curious to get to it, but yeah, thank you for having me. This was
Yeah,
fantastic.
absolutely. We'll record the other ones as we go,
Catch
and,
you guys in the next one.
catch you guys then.